Hello, hi, we are from Futures Automobile Company. Today we are going to present about our project. So before we start presenting, we have to introduce you our board. So I'm the founder of this Futures Automobile. My name is Kong Mi Chai, and the managing director is Ang Zishen. The manufacturing manager is Devyashri. The human resource manager is Dini Hadira. And last but not least, our marketing manager is No Alia Amira.
Hi and Assalamualaikum. My name is Nur Alia Amira Sekarang. My matric number is DD210011. So I'm going to continue my group presentation by explaining the business purpose. And for the description and justification part or product that we select for this group project, the futurist automobile plans to propose a new type of vehicle, which is the electric vehicle. An electric vehicle is defined as a vehicle that can take electricity from a battery and can be charged from an external source, and it is also known as the only vehicle that can only be powered by an electric motor drawing electricity from a battery, which is for all electric vehicles. All electric vehicles do not have ICE and are powered purely by one or more electric motors powered by energy stored in batteries. The batteries are charged by plugging the vehicle into an electric power source, and it also may be charged through the regenerative braking. Moreover, the electric vehicle was chosen because the criteria are relevant to SDG 7. SDG 7 means Sustainable Development Goal 7 seeks to ensure access to affordable, reliable, sustainable and modern energy for all. In summary, the electric car's battery may be reused and recycled. Electric cars then utilize energy to charge their batteries rather than fossil fuels such as petrol or diesel. So, for the identification of material requirement and manufacturing process involved is that electric vehicles are not the same as typical automobiles, others powered by internal combustion engines. As is generally known, EV use the energy stored in the battery to cycle the motor and provide the power required for driving. This is the most significant difference between EV and internal combustion cars, which use fossil fuel to generate that power. As a result, EV do not require an engine or gearbox, which are two of the most important components of internal combustion cars. In this assignment, the electric car has 8 major components that we can see from the figure below must be considered and calculated in the cost-profit analysis, which is battery production cost, interior cost, exterior cost, printed-wide, electronic and electrical systems, e-drive assembly cost, and chassis manufacturing cost, and also the last one is powertrain drivetrain system. After the primary components of the electric automobile have been built, they will be assembled by machines and qualified personnel. First, the robot will produce and stamp the sheet metal sections of the automobile body, which include side frames, doors, hoods, and roofs that are later joined to the main frame of the car. Once the frame is complete and the pieces are ready for assembly, the automobile will be transported onto a production line and driven along a moving assembly line at the factory while robots and humans work on it. The manufacturing facility and employees will assemble the automobile and may collaborate with robots in some jobs. Simultaneously, the robotic work itself will operate independently to weld, solder, screw, and glue pieces onto the automobile. After the body pieces are attached to the automobile, it will be detailed, which involves washing, layering chemical formula for corrosion and scratch prevention and painting. Finally, put the battery, chassis, e-drive system, electronics and electrical system, powertrain or drivetrain system and tires into the electric car so that it can stand on its own. So that's all from me.
Assalamualaikum and hi, my name is Dina Hadira Zulkarnain and I will proceed our presentation with the identification and procurement of machinery involved part. So there are a few machines that are involved in the production of electric cars. which is for a few examples that I would give is the conveyor belts, painting robots, bin transport robots, overhead conveyors, CNC machines, which are very well known among them, and there are other few more. So the two inverters that power each of these machines operate at a voltage greater than the battery and are linked to each of the devices. There is a procurement of machinery involved, there are three types. The first one is the direct order from the manufacturer. So in this case, if the manufacturer or source of supply have been identified, so through the use of trade directories or manufacturer directories, you can contact them by a phone or write a letter of inquiry to ask about the cost, delivery, and suitability of the machinery. Second of all is the renting and leasing. So these are the options for getting expensive and sophisticated machines, because when a business are lacks of necessary money, renting or leasing is an appropriate solution since it reduces the danger of obsolescence. So the third one is the order from manufacturer's representative. So the machinery needed to make the electric automobile can be owned or hired by employing aforementioned procurement method. So moving on to the next slide, which is the determination of machine ownership cost, operations, and maintenance. So the first one we will go for the machine ownership cost. So as we can see here in the table, there are a few lists of machines and the cost, and it varies depending on the types of machines. And we have a few range of prices and the costs that are given here. It is because it depends on the functions, and we can see that the CNC machines have the highest cost among all the machines, and the overhead conveyor have the lowest among all, together with the air range machines. And it would give us a total of 439,000 ringgit and 100 ringgit per month. And the machine of ownership cost table just shows us that every machine varies in the cost of it. Next, moving on to the operational costs, we have a few lists of the machines that are listed here, and it is the same as the previous one. We can see that the costs are different depending on the functions. As I said before, we have around 120 ringgit per hour, 100 ringgit per hour, and 20 ringgit per hour, also 10 ringgit per hour. And we can see here that the overhead conveyor and the conveyor belts have one of the highest costs depending on the functions, and it will give us a total around 730 ringgit per hour. And this is as a whole for the operational costs. So last but not least, we will go for the maintenance costs. The table shows the same list of the machines that are the same with the previous one. And we have around 200 ringgit per month for the cost of the conveyor belts, and it goes the same until the CNC machines. And we can see that the jig welder machine is around 50 ringgit per month and 10 ringgit per month for the arrange, and also spot welder machine have 50 ringgit per month, and it is the same as the tap welder machines and also the jig welder. And for the cell winder machine, it is around 100 ringgit per month. So it is an average of 200 ringgit per month for few machines that are listed here, and it will give us a total of 1,460 ringgit per month as a whole for the maintenance costs.
So for product cost and analysis, we'll first determine the variable cost. So for the total variable cost is as stated in the slideshow. So move on to the fixed cost. We'll also determine the fixed cost, and also it is also stated already. So by having the total fixed cost and total variable cost, we'll obtain the cost per unit as shown in the slideshow. So move on to the sale price. It is also calculated and sum up to be the figure in the slideshow. So we are also determine the break-even point. So the formula for break-even point is the total fixed cost over sale price per unit minus variable cost per unit. So we'll obtain a break-even point at 11.
So, in conclusion, the proposed electric vehicle will actually gain a profit of 39,620 ringgit per unit. So, actually, ideally, we should actually sell 50,000 electric vehicles so that the company will gain 1.981 billion of income. So, this project will only profit a lot if the sales are ideal, as if we are selling 50,000 vehicles. So the current market is the selling electric vehicle at around 300,000 ringgit. Hence, the sale price for each car will be 141,500 ringgit and per unit. So it is fair enough and very affordable for general people. Thank you. So for the application of P over F for this project, this is a cash flow diagram whereby the net worth that which is being spent is 23 billion per year, hence why the arrow is pointing downwards. So the I is 5% per year, which is the interest, and then so we will be needed to calculate the future worth for this question. So for this question, we will have two methods in solving to find the future worth from knowing the present worth and from knowing the interest value. So the first one will be the formula method, whereby we will be using the formula of A multiplied by 1 plus I power n minus 1 over I. So A is 23 billion, for it is because of the per year value. So I will be 5%, which is 0.05. So once multiplying it and inserting into the formula, we will receive the value of 289.29 billion ringgit. So using the second method is using factor method, whereby we will use the table, the interest table, to find the values. So to find the values in the interest table, we will actually need to know the values of the interest and values of the year to find the future worth. So in this question, since we are finding on the future worth, so we will use the term of F over A, because we already have the value of A, and F is what we are going to find. So upon searching on the table, we will get a value of 12.5579. So upon multiplying it with 23 billion ringgit, we will receive 289.29 billion as same value as the formula method. So with that, our company will actually earn a profit of 289.29 billion ringgit in the 10th year after 10 years of the future.
So for the determinations of monthly installment, we will be determining the annual worth of this company. So in order to find the annual worth, we can use two ways. One is through by using the present worth, and another one is through using the future worth. So let's start with the by using the present worth first. So as shown as the in the cash flow diagram, we can see that the present worth is 177.59 billions, and the interest is 5% per year, and through this we will be able to find the present worth. So when finding the annual worth by using the present worth, there are two methods to find it. For the method 1, it will be the formula method, which is as shown as by using the formula as shown in this slide. And for the method 2, it will be the factor method, which is by using the values in the interest table. So from what we know that the present worth is 177.59 billions, and the I, which is the interest, is 5% or 0.05, and the N is equals to 10 years. So after subbing in all these values, we'll get that from method 1, it will be equals to the annual worth is 22.9987 billions. And for method 2, after finding the A over P values at n equals to 10 and the interest is 5%, we get that the value is 0.1295. And after times the value with the 177.59, which is the present worth, we get that it will be equals to the annual worth is 22.9987 billion as well. After finding the annual worth by using the present worth, now we will use the future worth to find the annual worth. So we know that the future worth is 289.29 billions, and the interest is still the same, which is 5%, and the years, which is n, is still equals to 10. And this is the cash flow diagram. So for finding the annual worth by using the future worth, it will be same as the present worth, where there are two methods as well. So for method 1, it will be the formula method, which is by using the formula as shown as in this slide. And for the method 2, it will be the factor method, which is by using the interest table. So for the method 1, after knowing that the future worth is equals to 289.29 billions, and the I, which is the interest, is 5% or 0.05, and the N equals to 10. After summing in all this value, we will get that the annual worth equals to 23 billions. And for the method 2, which is the factor method, after getting the A over F value at n equals to 10 years and 5% interest, we get that the value equals to 0.0795. And after times this value with the future worth, which is 289.29 billions, we get that the value equals to 22.9986 billion. So there's only a little bit difference between the method 1 and method 2 values, so it is still receivable. And from what we know, it is almost the same value from what we calculate
the annual worth by using present worth and also the annual worth by using future worth. So the calculations are correct.
So for product evaluation, we'll first draft out the cash flow diagram with all the details needed, and we'll use the parameters to calculate the PW. So these are the parameters and also the costs. So we'll be using this formula to calculate for the PW. So the final result of this method obtained is greater than 0, which means that this product is profiting.
The conclusion is that the profit earned by the electric automobile in Malaysia per year over the next 10 years is 23 billion, resulting in a future value of 289.29 billion. According to the computed future worth, the money required for the firm to start the business or the bank loan required by the company is 177.59 billion. Then, using the F and P calculations, we can compute the yearly value the corporation must pay the bank for a 10-year loan at a 5.0% interest rate. The PW was then determined, which is positive 213.14 billion. As a result, because PW is favorable, the project should be accepted and the corporation should profit. So that's all from us. Thank you.